one thing you kind of touched on that I didn't even consider about ever asking any other creative people is that there is a certain balance or a certain a fine line of like what we're doing for clients, paid
Mm-hmm.
work, professional work, and what we're creating sort of on our own.
Mm-hmm.
One artist who I love, I don't know if you know Nicholas Holman. He's a local painter here. He did the Rosebud Hotel,
Beautiful.
but
Yeah.
the dude is awesome, and we talk a lot about, or I've talked with him a lot about creativity, but he's one of the lucky artists, I think, and I'm going to have him on the podcast, and I'll probably ask him this, but he seems to have found this very nice place where he's able to create for himself purely,
Wow.
but not everyone, but people seem to be into it.
Yeah.
And that, so he gets, so for, I guess, do you ever get frustrated with maybe what feels like not being able to put more effort into like your art versus client work?
Yeah, I definitely want more of my work. I don't see it. There's a spectrum to that. Like I see everything as my work if it's with a camera, but there's just different levels to why it's being made.
Mm-hmm.
Now people are very supportive, and they're like, I think you'd be surprised. People will buy your prints if you make them. Like you just have to make them and make them available. And so I'm just have this slight fear of like I'm not there yet. Or this work hasn't been flushed out as like why I'm doing this. Like a beautiful image to me is not that compelling. I'm like, why? Why is that? Why is
What
that?
is compelling to you?
I guess like the story behind it. So a lot of people. So the photo's worth 1,000 words, but I also want 1,000 words with that photo. And also, so I love documentary film.
Fuck yeah.
You know, just like learning through image. Because reading's hard for me.
Same. I'm pretty sure I'm dyslexic, man. I've never been diagnosed, but I
Can't
can't read worth shit.
and that's okay. There's other ways to receive, which is great. And
I always thought I'm a visual
don't beat
learner.
yourself up about that.
Right.
But I guess also like the surrealist photography, just like the why as in like why, you know, that type of why. It doesn't make sense.
That's what you like. That's what you find
I
compelling.
really like the studio being a messy blob, things falling.
Yeah.
Like it just all just looks weird to me, and that's what I want is like fill a frame, like make it like what are those I Spy books? Yeah, those I Spy books, like making a photograph
I see.
an I Spy book, and just drawing people in to look at it for a long time.
And they're kind of almost like they're looking at it, but they're asking themselves, why am I?
Yeah, why am I compelled
why am I?
to look at this for longer
love
than
that.
1 second, or like scroll through Instagram? But you know, portraiture I think does that. Looking at an eye on a person who's like really giving the energy to the camera, you're like, I'm staring at this now. Like they're beautiful for whatever reason. And so there's so many ways to make it like this is dope. This feels right. And that's why I love how massive photography is as a creative medium. Even from sports to birds to all of it, we can just go out whatever we're feeling, and we have the skills.
And as cliche as it sounds, and the ultimate cliche, but I do love the idea that you capture a little blip in time.
Oh yeah,
I can't. I mean, it's so corny, and everyone can do it now, but it's like it's so. Especially on film, because it just feels even more like one moment, like because you can't just.
Well, when you're looking at an image, can you see where you were? What like can you kind of go back to the day and like what was happening?
And I know almost all of them too.
Yeah, that's great.
I've got probably hundreds of thousands of photos where I could tell you the details of that moment for
and
sure.
That's like why I do it. I kind of am very in the
moment.
Emotional. For the most part, I'm in the moment, and then I forget a lot. Like people are like, remember this one time? I'm like blanked. Like, show me the image and maybe I'll be there. I don't remember spatially where we are, dates and times. I don't remember. All of those things just seem like nonsense to how my brain processes things. I don't need that information. So school was such a challenge. I was like, this isn't important at all.
Not at all.
The fact that we have Google while we're in school, it's like, why do we need this information? Google knows all this.